All right, it is 9:03. I think I'm going to get started here. Maybe drink down a little bit more hard cider. For those wondering, this is woodchuck hard cider. Very nice. And for those wondering about how much I drink, seeing that I have a bar, I'm very careful about drinking. Actually, I grew up with my parents were very responsible drinkers, and they taught me. They just introduced me to a little bit of alcohol now and then. So I'm really familiar with my how much I can drink. So I really don't get drunk ever really. I've never gotten drunk as far as I know. But then how would I know? So oh well. But I'm not like this is not going to turn into dignation. I'll put it that way. As to how much woodchuck wood? A lot. Alright, let's get to the news. Time for some anime and manga news, because we all love our anime and manga news. Try not to get caught up in the cord there. And let's see what we got. Starting off with, this was really actually kind of amazing. Should I advertise more and get myself a production crew? That would be awesome. I'm actually working on some money-making things a little way. I'm going to try putting up a little donation thing just to see what folks can do. I've also designed some T-shirts, which I think would be fun. And I've got some T-shirts about what's going on with the anime world and Goku one bad mother, things like that. So we'll see where that goes. Having a difficult time finding a place that prints T-shirts and they don't cost you a lot of money, but where I can get in a little bit of cash on each of those T-shirts. So trying to find something decent, hard to find. But we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'd like to get a little bit of sponsorship and get some folks. Honestly, I just like to find other folks to start doing this with. My main problem is the folks that I know who are into anime don't have the time to actually record with me. So hopefully I can find some more folks. And I know some folks suggested some folks on YouTube I can collaborate with. I'm going to see what I can do about that as well. But we'll see. All right, getting down to the news. One Piece, really Ronald on a T-shirt. I love it. So One Piece, they released a One Piece film collection called One Piece Film Strong World. Love the title. Anyway, it is a 10th anniversary limited edition of a whole bunch of One Piece films. It sold 120,000 copies of the DVD and 63,000 copies of the Blu-ray in 3 days. Yeah. One Piece does really well. The standard edition sold 35,000 copies, and the Blu-ray 10,000 copies. All in all, this film moved 226,000 copies in 3 days between the special edition and the limited edition. And yeah, that's kind of crazy. So it was the #1 Blu-ray and #1 DVD release, I believe. Yeah, #1 DVD and #1 Blu-ray release of that weekend. And yeah, One Piece keeps making money, and it just keeps on chugging along, which good for them. That's really cool. There's also some extra stuff on those Blu-ray discs, so if you want to go and spend a lot of money for those, go for it. I'm actually curious. I'm going to see if I can find some information on how much it actually costs. Actually, I apologize. This is not a collection. This is just one of the movies. That's nuts. That is just for one of the movies. It's 250,000 copies. That's amazing. Let's see here. No, ANN doesn't link to anywhere you can buy it just yet. I'm sure it's going to be, $60. But man, crazy. One Piece is cool. All right, let's moving on. Shoot. Looks like my iPad is only letting me do basically 8 stories at a time, so I may have to jump back a little bit. Yes, please join the forum. The forum is awesome. So, moving on. Guess what? Golden Boy is back. Golden Boy was a manga, then an anime, and the anime was arguably like the first ecchi anime in terms of like not the, it's not porn, but it's definitely ecchi, and it was intended for regular audiences. And the original mangaka is coming back and doing a new manga of Golden Boy, which is kind of amazing. He lasted Golden Boy 13 years ago, coming back to do that, which is pretty darn cool. Apparently, just going to be more jobs for Kentaro. which is quite awesome. Be more stuff in Shueisha's Business Jump magazine. And no other news here on how long it'll last or exactly what the stories will be, things like that. They're going to call it Golden Boy 2 so far, and that's pretty darn cool. So totally new Golden Boy storylines. That's pretty awesome. Wasn't there a Golden Boy story recently that they were like re-releasing it on DVD or something? Maybe that's it. Maybe there's some more interest in Golden Boy, like over in Japan. So they thought, well, I'll go back to it. Who knows? Anyway, that would be, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Let's moving on. That's annoying. It also refreshes. So, there's this company called Recruit, and it's developing an iPhone app called Manga from Japan, and it's going to display manga in English on your iPhone. Which means it'll also work on the iPad and so forth and so on. Apparently they released it August 16th. They only got one series on there. It's called In the Drawer by Kaori Tsurutani, which is a sort of a new manga thing. And it looks like it's shoujo. In the Drawer is a story about Sayumi, who takes a glass button from her older sister's box of treasures. Sayumi soon discovers that the button takes on a life of its own and is endowed with Sayumi's secrets, along with the other things hidden within her drawer. Is this porn? No, I'm joking. So that's pretty cool. Also, NTT Soul Mare has released several more manga titles. They're the ones I did an iPad review of their iPad thing of Never Let Me Go, I think. They're doing some other things. Whoa! I didn't see this. They've released all 7 volumes of Appleseed. Masamune Shiro's Appleseed. Like from the movies, the guy who goes in the show, the Appleseed stuff. Yeah, that's rather amazing. They've also released another volume of and also Cyborg 009. Woo! Yes, I am very interested. So that's pretty darn awesome. I know what I'm going to be going out and buying tonight. Sweet. Cool. All right. I had a couple of volumes of Appleseed, and one of the problems with it is like it was licensed a long time ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago over here, and I think it just didn't sell very well. So they only released like 1 or 2 volumes, and then it got picked up again, and they released a few more volumes like a year or 2 ago. Same thing kind of happened. So it's been this really choppy release cycle. So the fact they have all 7 volumes all at once is, I assume it's in English. I can't imagine not. Oh, this says it's through their Nokia Ovi store. So I'm not sure what the availability will be. I mean, they release stuff on other platforms, so I'm not sure if it's just for the Nokia platform or whatever, but we'll see. Also, Crunchyroll, also the Senko Roll. That's another news story we'll get to. Crunchyroll has confirmed it's working on a manga distribution platform. It's a really cool interview with About.com's manga person, Deb Aoki, who's also on Twitter, with Crunchyroll CEO's Kun Gao, and basically said, get this, Crunchyroll is going to provide basically a platform for other folks to publish manga on the internet. So Crunchyroll may host the content, but it's more, look, we've developed the technology, we've worked it out, we'll license it to the various Japanese companies or whatever to actually release stuff on the internet and handle all the encryption and all that kind of stuff. So that's a really cool idea that they're pursuing. And they said, we don't want to get in the middle of it. Well, we want to get in the middle of it, but we don't want to, be the one. We don't want it to create the Crunchyroll manga portal. But that's pretty darn cool. Anyway, yeah, I would kind of like to. I would hope that they're not just going to do stuff like Bleach, because let's be honest. If you want to get Bleach, you can get Bleach. That's not a problem anymore. But we'll see. So they're working with Bitway, which is a Japanese comic distributor. So that's pretty cool. So cool, more stuff. Oh, and there's more Boys Love on the Kindle, which that happens every week, it seems. Since I kind of spoiled it, Senko Roll 2 is official. Atsuya Uki, who did the initial Senko Roll, has announced on his website that he's doing a sequel to Senko Roll, currently called, get this, Senko Roll 2. And it's going to be a straight-up sequel, apparently same characters, all that kind of stuff happening, pretty darn cool. And Let's see here. Was there any other information here? No, some summaries on the original Senko Roll. Yeah, I saw Senko Roll at NYAF last year, I think, and it was really fun. Just cool stuff. For those who don't know, Senko Roll was done by basically one guy. He wrote it, directed, drew it, everything. Kind of like Voices of a Distant Star. Pretty darn cool. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah, the original Senko Roll is worth seeing. I think it's on Crunchyroll, something along those lines. It's on one of the sites, one of the streaming sites. I'm almost positive is streaming Senko Roll. And it's like 20 minutes long, half an hour long, something like that. It's pretty short. But awesome. Moving on. Mecha fans, rejoice! The Gundam 00 film, Awakening of the Trailblazer, will be airing at New York Anime Festival this year, which is sweet. So, you can go and see that. By the way, it is Awakening of the Trailblazer, like A and then Awakening, which I think is hilarious. Anyway, ANN, AnimeNewsNetwork.com, has links to trailers and all that kind of stuff for it. It does not here say... Oh, it will be a sub. So, Japanese dub, English sub. Now that we got a unicorn going, it's a fair cop as to how quickly the English dub is going to be done. So it'll be subbed, which is good. That's a really good Japanese sub, as is typical for Gundam. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Some licensing announcements. Bones is working on a mecha anime called Star Driver Kagayaki no Takuto. They streamed an 85-second promotional video. I'm gonna look here, see what you guys think. The character designer looks a lot like the guy who did Boss Squash. It just really looks like the Boss Squash character design. Original character designers apparently didn't do anything else, but we'll see. Nope, apparently not. So that was just my view. Didn't see any surfboards in this one, although perhaps you're confusing it with Eureka 7. But anyway, so Star Driver is on its way. Planned to be released in October, I do believe. Looks like a pretty standard mecha series, but that's awesome. You know, can't go wrong with that. Here's the plot synopsis. It is a school robot action story set on a verdant island called Southern Cross. Wait, Southern Cross? Really? Wow, yeah, Southern Cross. Okay, someone's been watching some classic mecha anime, where a boy named Takuto Tsunashi arrives one night by swimming ashore. He enrolls in the island's high school academy, as you do after you've washed ashore on a desert island, which conceals a secret, a giant humanoid figure underground. Takuya Igarashi, who directed Soul Eater and Oran High School Host Club, is directing. Premiere in Japan in October, so coming up pretty darn soon. And yes, when he goes into the mecha, you get sort of a transformation sequence, and his hair gets like blonde highlights. It's pretty darn awesome. It's pretty darn cool. So we'll see how that goes on. There's also a 125-second trailer for the new Sora no Toshimono series, Sora no Toshimono Forte, and the less said about that, the better. I just didn't like Sora no Toshimono, sorry. Here's something funny. Takashi Murakami, any of you guys know who that is? An artist in Japan. He's done a lot of super flat art. He's done a lot of stuff talking about what anime art is like and so forth. And he does some fairly, let's just say, fairly ecchi artwork. But it's all meant to be sort of a commentary, so it's real art. There's one guy who is a young man who is, let's just say,